for Bradford and Brooks, a civil discourse about civil affairs in Bardstown, Kentucky, and around the world. Please welcome your host for Bradford and Brooks, Margie Bradford and Jim Brooks. Now, get ready to enjoy a community forum to encourage citizen participation in the political process by the thoughtful discussion of political and civil issues.
All right, good morning, Bardstown and Nelson County. It's time for Bradford and Brooks. Jim Brooks and Margie Bradford here in the WBRT studio on South 3rd Street. Good morning, Margie.
Morning, Jim.
Well, we have another pretty Wednesday morning.
We do.
And it can stay like this until about April. Be okay with me.
I'll put your order in right now.
Well, Margie and I have a very special studio guest with us today, Mayor John Royalty. And good morning, Mayor.
Good morning. Good morning, you, Margie.
Sure your microphone's on.
Is it on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Well, Mayor, I know that we were both at the City Council debates last night. Since they had a field of 16, they broke it up into two debates with 8 in one and 7 in the other because one of the candidates couldn't make it. The debate, from my perspective, seemed to be, it focused a lot on the mayor and the council's relationship. And I kind of wondered if the mayor was running for council too, because I think references to you were pretty common during the, and a lot of the council candidates just observed that they didn't think that the relationship between the administration and the current council is working very well.
Right.
And so anyway, you wanted to weigh in on some of it because the comments were all over the place. You know, when you have 15 candidates. Right.
Well, you know, I think the next time that they have the debate, I think I'm going to let my preschool get their crayons out and write the questions. They could do a whole lot better than what was done. That wasn't a debate. I have fielded many complaints this morning, even by other candidates, and I think it was just another bash the administration, bash other council members, and I don't think that's fair because no one up there said what they were running for and what they wanted to really do for the city. Mm-hmm. It's just that I'm a spokesman for you. Well, every councilman is a spokesman for the people.
Right. Well, that's their job as
That's
council.
their job. But what are you going to do? What are you going to help the mayor do? Because the mayor can't do it all by himself. And what every candidate needs to realize is the position of a council member is for ordinances and the budget. Mm-hmm. Not like some of the council members have been doing now, which causes disruption and among the administration, is to try to run the administration. Right. And to take over the administration or try to call the news media like Wave 3 and demand for people to be terminated. Mm-hmm. That's not your job. That is not your job. And I think there are council members that are completely overstepped their bounds. Mm-hmm. This is by far, and I'm not saying all the council members that's on now, but this is by far, since 2005 I've sat on the city council, this is by far the worst council that I've ever sat on. It's the worst.
In what aspect would you? I mean, obviously it's been a struggle, I think, for both the administration and the council in getting things done. I mean, there's been a lot of debate on issues to get things done that you've put forward. Well, I mean, there's, you know, and I think neither the council or you are probably happy with how difficult some things have become.
Right, and let me say first about myself. You know, I'm a hard worker. I'm a workaholic. I don't know sometimes when to stop. As Tim Butler said, I was at City Hall at 10:30 at night and texting him questions. You know, and I know a direction that it needs to that I would like to see the city go to be progressive, mm-hmm. and to accommodate industry and everything that's impacting us right now.
Right.
And you know, we've had a lot industry move in. So I'm in that aspect. I'm headstrong. I know where I want to go, but I cannot. Council, you have 3 council members wants to talk about transparency. You know, I cannot be transparent when those 3 council members have never been in my office to discuss nothing about city works, even what goes on in the city administration. And I think that's a shame. It's not like that I did it when Dick was there, Bill. I went to those offices and discussed things. I went to Conway and Heaton to discuss things. Dick called me on things on my cell phone, and we discussed things.
Right.
But I can't do it with those 3 because there's nothing returned. You make appointments, or they make appointments, and they come in and they don't keep appointments. And then I'm still sitting there with my thumbs twiddling, and then I need to move on.
Right.
So, with that aspect, I think it's a shame, and you know, and 2, when you have 3 council members that don't think that I should have beat Bill Shekels in the election. That was not their candidate, and they have a issue with that, and I think that's an issue, and it's not my fault.
Right. I think Councilman Bill Buckman made that statement, pointed that out during the debate last night.
And especially when you have a council member that says that you should have let Mayor Shekels win. That's not you don't let nobody win. You run, and the people put you there.
Right.
Or they take you out of the office. One of the 2.
Right.
And it's wrong. It's wrong for that to even be said or done. And that was at the very beginning. And when that's said, I knew from that point on, it's going to be tough.
So you thought the questions weren't, you had an issue with the way the questions were phrased during the debate?
Yeah, I had an issue with the whole debate because it wasn't about what council members are going to do for the city. It was about, you know, what are you going to do to the mayor or whatever, and that's not what it's about. And I think again with the people that put that on, it was one-sided, as always, and I disagreed with that, and I've kind of felt it was comical.
I think Lee Evans, when she was asked that question, made that point that the council's role is ordinances and budget. And I think I know she made that point. I remember hearing her explain that.
And she's not on the council, and she already knows what the limitations are. And you know, as Dick knows and Bill knows, when you go into office as mayor, you cannot, I have to call the council member and tell them what's going on administratively.
Right.
You can't do that. Now, am I at fault at some of that? Probably so, because I thought it was, but it's different once you get in that seat, as Bill said.
Right.
It's different once you get in because there's decisions that have to be made now, and which are administrative.
Right.
And that deals with employees. That deals with organization, as the mayor of Shepherdsville did. He went in and fired the city attorney and demoted everybody. And no, I did not have a part in that. He might have copied me a little bit, but I didn't have a part in it. But he did the exact same thing. It's because the mayor has that power to do that if he doesn't feel that it is going in the direction that he thinks it should go. And he has a right to do that.
Well, you know, you set the leadership point, you know, and
Right.
it really is in your lap, that leadership, to make things work and to move forward.
But you know, take the fire department, for example. Bill Shekels tried it. He hired the fire chief from Zolton, Kentucky. Did not have the city council's approval. We didn't approve it. Bill tried to do, from what I gathered, because I was on the council then, he tried to do what I did. Every mayor before me didn't want to tackle the issue because of the stink that was going to happen. Now, people say, well, you didn't negotiate with Dean Watts. Legally, I cannot negotiate with Dean Watts on the fire department issue.
Right.
They are a corporation and an LLC, and they have their own private board.
Right.
It excludes Dean Watts.
Right.
So therefore, and I don't know why people cannot understand that.
Well, legally, Dean Watts really had no dog in that fight. He wasn't involved with the fire department. It was just the corporation and the city.
And the city.
Right.
But the only way that Dean actually controls that is he allows them to put on their tax fee or their fire fee on the tax bill.
Right.
And as it went down, he said, if you raise it, you're not putting it on the tax bill. But what happens after the split? He lets them add $10 to the fire tax bill.
Right.
That's all I wanted was 10. Now whose fault is it? Is it mine? Absolutely not. Because they did not want to go against Dean, because they wanted it on the tax bill.
Right. Right.
So stop blaming the guy that's not to be blamed for it. That fire department corporation, I had to negotiate with him legally. I'm not going to do it. I don't negotiate your contract here with WBRT with, if I was negotiating, I don't negotiate with you. I have to go to Roth.
Right.
He's the man. So that's where that stands.
All right. Would you agree? A lot of the comments during the debate just really talked about the council not working. That relationship between you, the administration, and the council hasn't been what it probably should be. Would you agree with that pretty much? I
agree. And as I was going to state earlier, every person is not without their faults. I know that I'm headstrong, but it's because I know the direction. But that's a lot of my background in policing and military. You're a take charge type person, and you're that A personality type person. I know the direction that I think the city should go to be progressive, and I've sat on the council since 2005, and it hasn't progressed. We haven't done what we should have done, in my opinion. Although I have tried, but as the mayor sets the pace, and as a council member, we went with it. And here, you're right. It hasn't been what I think it should have been.
Well, during the comments, first question was about giving you and the council a letter grade. I thought Joe Buckman said that he would give you high marks, give you an A for the energy you bring to the job, and I think there were a couple of other things. So not everything.
3 or 4 more, yeah.
Yeah, not everything was negative about the job you've done. I think a lot of people recognize that, especially somebody who's been mayor, that there's a certain amount of leadership you do that's on your shoulders.
The thing that he gave me, I think that everybody give a little mark in is transparency. Transparency is a two-way street. Okay, I cannot go to if Margie is on the council. I'm not going to go to Margie's house and scoop my feet under her table and say, "Here's what happened for the day." I have two other businesses to attend to after hours. It is Margie's responsibility to come in that office or call me or text me, email me, but I'm available. And it is her responsibility to contact me, say, "John, is there anything that went on today that maybe you can inform me of?" I can sit there and do that. And if you notice, and I think John Kelly said this, that I have offered, I do have an open door policy, and I have offered at every meeting for you to come into City Hall. I think that's wrong. The city needs to expand its television and internet service. Because all the gears are in a room smaller than this.
Right.
And it expands. We spent in the internet, in the cable, we spent $500,000 last year in internet expansion. That's a lot. So do we need another fire station? I think we do. And it needs to be where these firemen can get the proper clothes being washed instead of them hanging them up in a fan blowing on them. They got to have dryers. They got to have showers. You got to be progressive. You got to look outside the box. The police department, on a weekly basis, they have the toilets flood out there and get waste all over the floor. And
Where is this?
the police department.
In the police department? What's wrong?
Well, they've outgrown the building, and the plumbing that was done was inferior, and now we have issues. And now you're probably going to spend $30,000 out there on a building that we have outgrown. So you have drug task force officers there with regular detectives and with patrolmen. And, and sometimes patrolmen don't need to see what detectives are working on because, well, that's just...
Nature of the business.
Yeah. We got an evidence room that we have outgrown, and some of the evidence, guns need to be locked and stored in a separate, and they need to be behind a cage and locked. Drugs need to be done the same way, and it's not being done. And how do you pay for that? One of these days, you're going to pay the piper. And let me drag you back to 1996 or something. Remember when we had the cocaine stolen out of the Bardstown Police Department because of the lack of evidence locking. So that was a bad eye on the Bardstown Police Department. But
Are you saying that it's just that the facilities are inadequate, or
Yes.
that they are not
no, the
doing
facility.
your property?
No. You cannot get a better property management than C.D. Marksberry.
Right.
He is the A1 top evidence guy. You can't get anybody. I don't know anybody better than him. And he's that good of a guy for evidence. But what I'm saying is he needs more space. They're booking more evidence in, and they're stacking it on top of each other. And the court system I think, is slow on allowing them to destroy evidence. But that is in protection of the defendant.
Sure.
So,
Right.
Sure.
And because
It
there's
is.
civil rights, and that is
Yeah.
in protection, and
It
I
is.
agree with that. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking, what I'm saying is the facility is short. It worked it worked good, but now they've outgrown it. So
And of course, I don't remember how many men were on the police force when they moved in there, but it's grown probably
I think
6 or more.
no, I think when they moved there, it was maybe 19 or 20. Now they're
Okay.
28.
Yeah.
And you get 8 more patrolmen. It's just a lot. It's just a lot.
Well, could the building be modified, renovated and modified at a lesser cost than building a whole new facility?
No,
Okay.
Well, besides,
they're
you don't
restrained
own
on space,
it. You don't own it either.
and we don't own it.
Oh,
That's a county-owned building.
Yeah.
okay.
One question that's come up, I know the fire department needs more room. They need sleeping quarters, adequate sleeping quarters and showers. Could you add like a 1,200 square foot addition on the parking lot side of the fire department to meet that immediate need? I know it's
I
not the
think you
preferred solution,
could,
but
that's not really, you're putting a Band-Aid on it, and you'll be
Right.
addressing it in another 3, 4, 5 years.
okay. All right. Mayor, I didn't realize we are just about out of time.
Oh, we are.
So anyway, thank you for coming in and appreciate your comments
Yeah.
on the debate and
Thank
what's
you.
going on.
Thank you, Margie, I do appreciate it.
Thank
right.
you for coming.
Well, that's going to do it for Bradford and Brooks for this week. We will see you next Wednesday. Have a great week.